Okay, hi everybody. I'm going to be talking to you today about marking a score up. I'm going to be doing this, it's really ideally for J1 because we're going to be marking a Chinese score up as part of our work. But actually it can be used for any class. Any of you who are doing score marking for me can actually go on this and use it because it's absolutely the same for any of you. Before we start, I'd just like to discuss this word score. Just means a piece of music, but it's the written piece of music. When you are composing and you write your music down, you are writing down your score, okay? When you are playing a piece of music, the music you are looking at is the score. All right, I'm going to go through a few basic things that I would be looking at for you really to put in your compositions now. You're all really good at composing, so this is just a way of developing you further. But these are also things that you should be recognising on music more readily. Okay, so here we go. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Right. First things first, we have the title. Okay, fairly self-explanatory, goes at the top. The top right-hand side would be the composer, an EP to the first person who can tell me who composed Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Now looking at the music itself, I might ask you to show me a treble clef. This here is the treble clef. It is generally used for notes above middle C. Sometimes you will see notes that use ledger lines. They go below middle C. Okay, but really the comfortable place for a treble clef is middle C upwards. All right, this is the bass clef. Again, that is generally the stave that is below middle C as well. Okay, so above middle C, below middle C, the kind of meet in the middle C lives here for the bass clef. Okay, now then, moving on, you then come to this thing here, and it all gets a bit crowded at the beginning because there's lots of information given to you. At the very start, you get given this. This is the time signature, and it tells you how many beats there are in a bar. Now, if you look at this one, you'll see it says a 2 over a 4. The important number for you at the moment is that 2. It means that there are 2 beats in a bar. The 4 means that they are crotchet beats, so we are counting in groups of crotchets. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. All right. Now, at the end of every bar, we then need a bar line. So after every 2 beats, a bar line is put in. At the end of the piece, to signify that it is the end, you get one of these, which is a double bar line, and it purely means the end. Okay? You should be putting that in your work all the time now as well. To tell me and anyone playing it that it is the end. Now, some of the things I will ask you to do might be naming notes, but I'm just going to talk about note values today. One of the things I will probably ask you to do is to find me a crotchet. Here you go, a crotchet. That is a note that is 1 beat long. We call it a T, okay? T, 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 okay? Something else I might ask you to find might be a 2-beat note. Its musical word is minim. We call them milk, 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 okay? Another thing I might ask you to find might be coffee. Now, these are quavers. Each quaver is worth half a beat, so that is half and that is half. So together, those 2 quavers make 1 whole beat. Okay, so you have 1 and then these 2 together make 2. Okay, coffee, 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 coffee. Okay. Another thing I might ask you to look for is something like this. This is a slur. It tells us to play the music smoothly. And if we're going to be super musicians, which we are, we're going to use this word, legato. All right? Legato means smooth, but you all know that. The opposite of legato is bouncy. It is staccato. Okay? So you all know that as well. Right. And last but not least, let me just move this up. I might ask you for some tempo markings. So we're going to go down here because we're down here at the moment. Ritardando means getting slower. Quite often you'll see this at the end of a piece of music, and it's just a way of signifying that we are getting to the end. Similarly, at the beginning of a piece of music, you will have a tempo marking goes in at the beginning. This is moderate. Moderato, it just means at a moderate speed. If you are learning an instrument and you do sight reading, that is really important. When you do sight reading, one of the first things you will look at is the tempo marking, as well as your time signature and your key signature. Right, I'm going to leave you there. You will have a list of things from me that you need to look at to mark up onto your score. Some of them will be on here, some of them might not be, okay? Again, if you get stuck, you can just ask me for help. That is what I am here for. Okay, thank you.